you're tired. Okay.
I'm tired.
I was wondering what you were going to say. So I was wondering if you were going to go somewhere different with it.
Yeah. If I ever feel not tired, I'll mention it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Still tired. That's good. I'm particularly tired as well, so that's good.
Yeah. What are you tired of? Or are you just tired?
Actually, I was
Is it
a
more
little
of an
bit
existential tiredness or more of a physical tired?
not very exciting, but I was a little bit unwell at the weekend. I felt a little bit ill, and I'm still coming off the end of it a little bit. So I'm kind of tired because of that. I like to mention this to as many people that I can at the moment because I feel proud about it. For the first time in my adult life right now, this is genuinely for the first 20 years into my adult life, I started exercising.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What exercise are we doing?
I bought myself a Zwift bike. Zwift bike. It's quite fun to say.
I mean, it sounds like you're an Arab trying to say Swift.
Yeah.
Like that's how I would imagine.
But it's got a Z on this. It's a Z on the start.
Zwift.
Yeah, it's one of those letters.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But that's quite because so the reason that I've never exercised before is because I'm a lazy piece of shit. And but the problem is that and it pains me to say this, but I'm 40 this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 40, and I can feel myself turning into dust.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like I was about to say the word literally. Do you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say literally. I can feel myself turning into dust.
Right.
And so I started to just think, man, better do something about this.
Right.
Then I saw an offer on one of these bikes, and the reason I liked the sound of it is because it's basically a game. If something is a game, then I might actually stick with it. And so this thing is like you've got you're a little person on the screen, on a screen in front of you, cycling, and the bike, like when you're in the world, when you're going up a hill, it gets harder. Like the thing at the back is like making it so that there's resistance, and so it feels like you're going up a hill.
With this new interest of yours, do you think how long until Descenders gets like a physical edition?
The funniest thing is that actually I got in touch with Zwift. Love saying that. This is not an ad for Zwift, if anybody's wondering.
Right.
I got in touch with them.
I'm not getting paid.
I got in touch with them a few years ago, actually, about Descenders, and I back and forth with them a little bit. And in the end, we just all came to the conclusion that we weren't actually sure what we could do with it.
Right.
And actually, we have talked to other bike companies since then about Descenders being, because other bike companies come along, Zwift and people like that are already years ahead of them. So, Red Bull, I talked to Red Bull, and they're already years ahead. So these companies who are coming along with new bikes, they want a product that's already made, that they can just hook into. So there was a company who approached us with Descenders, and they showed us like videos of their bike working with Descenders. The problem was it started to get like difficult, because then they were like, oh, we're only going to need 6 months of work from you to work with us to it. And then we were like, this is horrible to say, but this isn't worth it for us. This is so much effort to make our game work with your bike.
With only your bike.
We could just spend that time making sure the game is in sales, and it will make 3 times as much money. So unfortunately we didn't do it in the end. It would have been cool, but
because I think you need to shift your paradigm a bit if you're going to bring Descenders to exercise bikes. What I'm imagining is less of an exercise bike and more of one of those 360 flight simulators with a bike in it.
You mean 360, like it's all around you, or you mean it's moving while you're going?
Yeah, it's moving while you're going, but it can move all over. It can move all directions. That's what we need, really.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so you can exercise.
It's a bit like when you backflip. The whole thing goes upside down.
Exactly, just normal stuff, Yeah.
Okay, I'll get that made.
Yeah.
I'll see. It doesn't sound too expensive. So I think it should be fine.
With all the ad money you just made from Zwift, it should be possible.
Yeah. Where's my stuff, Zwift? But anyway, I'm just trying to not die. And we'll see how long I stick with it, because I've been doing it for 2 weeks now.
Good.
Yeah, 2 weeks is pretty
Yeah.
good for me, and I feel good about it. But the graph of drop off is always heightening, isn't it, all the time? And I feel like probably the answer is going to be about 3 months, but we'll see.
I think I found with these kind of things that the important one is that you just do day one. That's the big one, and then the bigger thing is that when you do fall off, you do day one again.
Yeah.
Right, because it's that thing where you're now measuring in streaks, and that's how Duolingo works. But it's also that thing where if you fall off Duolingo, it's very quick to go like, "Oh my god, but I was at 3 months. I have to start back down at day one again."
I know. I cannot tell you how many times I've fallen off Duolingo in my life. So many languages as well. Which languages have I fallen off? I've fallen off French. I've fallen off Japanese. I've fallen off Russian. I think I did Dutch at one point.
I don't know that.
I know loads of Dutch. You ready?
Yeah,
go. Where is the bonk?
Waar is de bank? Yeah. Close.
That's it.
You meant an apple. Yeah. I love that Duolingo just keep teaching you languages, like sentences that you can never use in any context. Like, I am an apple. The rhinoceros sits on the couch.
It's one of the reasons, actually, that I secretly hate my brother. Have I mentioned my brother on this podcast before? I don't think I have. Alex.
Yeah.
But people might know Alex because he's also in video games.
Yeah,
but he's on the development side. I hate him because he is unbelievably good at learning languages. Somehow he sponges them, and he's explained to me how he does it, and I'm like, cool, that'll never work for me. But he's like, he just knows like Russian, he just knows Japanese, like, and he's just, I'm going on a trip in 3 months, guess I'll learn the language, and then he knows a language, and I'm just an idiot who can't even remember my French from school.
Who's trying to keep doing the exercise bike for more than 3 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want to stick with an exercise bike for 3 weeks, and he knows multiple languages. So that makes me really angry.
I saw a video the other day that made me grin because it was like how to raise your child bilingual, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. Either people forget that English is a language, so you're like, oh, I'm bilingual. I speak Dutch and French, for example. And people go like, but you're saying this in English. And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, English. Yeah. So I'm trilingual. But it's actually fairly rare to be raised only bilingual at this point. Except for if you're in an Anglophone country or in China or something. I guess that it's pretty common. Even in China, I guess English is fairly common.
I really wish I knew. Do you know, not knowing another language, I don't know another language. And I feel a lot of the time, obviously, especially when I'm abroad, I feel like a dick about it. I feel like I constantly, when I'm trying to have a conversation with someone abroad and we have to speak in English, and I feel like apologetic. I feel like I'm really sorry.
That's correct. We like that.
I don't know your language. Can you please talk in English? I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. Be embarrassed.
But I don't even. But I'm one of those people who doesn't even try, which makes me even more of a dick. And the reason I don't even try is not trying to be rude. It's because I feel so fucking stupid when I do it.
So here's the thing, right? Like, per country, I found that the response to you trying to speak the language is different. So there are countries where people go like, "Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, try more." And then there's countries who are like, "Oh, please stop. Please stop."
And they immediately start talking English. They cut you off like, no.
Yeah.
And I've had enough of those in my life where those moments where I'm just like, God, I just don't want to be embarrassed anymore. I don't want to try.
It's a shame, isn't it?
It's
really a shame because I think speaking is one of the best ways of learning a language, actually. And
of course,
I was raised with a lot of them, right? Like just sort of automatically from my context. I learned Dutch because I'm in the Netherlands. I learned Arabic because I'm Egyptian. In school, we have to take English. But then also French and German. So I speak those three. On the way to university, you pick one of the classic languages. So classical Latin or classical Greek.
Did you do Latin or Greek?
I did both.
I can't believe we've never talked about this. Right. Not to alienate every single person who's listening right now, but and come off as absolute pricks. I also did Latin and ancient Greek at school.
Yeah, cool.
How weird is that? But nobody does that.
Well, in the Netherlands, you want to do university, you have to pick one. And I just didn't like that I didn't get to do the other. So I was like, I want to do the other one too. And then finally, I started learning Spanish, which, frankly, with all the other languages I know, is...
Wait, so how many languages do you know?
The ones I just listed.
Right, so too many that you actually don't know the number.
Yeah,
I hate that. That makes me feel terrible. I mentioned doing like Latin and Greek. I did them in such a shit way where I struggled with it so much that when it came, there's the bit at school where you have to like, you learn the language and you learn like a passage from something, and then you learn it in English, and you're meant to like put them together, and you're meant to like learn, okay, this sentence means this sentence in English. And what I did instead was I just memorized all of the English perfectly so that when I got into the exam and it was like, what's happening in this bit of the text, and it listed it all in ancient Greek or whatever, I knew enough words that I could go, okay, like a servant is mentioned here, and then a dog is mentioned here. It must be that bit from the English. And then I just answered the question. This is genuinely true, I have this entire section of the Odyssey still in my head.
Still
from where, so spoke Antinous, and his words were pleasing to them. Then the heralds poured water over their hands, and youths filled the bowls brimful of drink and served it. I've got this whole bit of the Odyssey in my head because I just literally spent every evening after school just saying it over and over and over.
So you would remember it.
And that's how I did it. That's not learning, is it? No. I didn't learn Greek.
Oh, yeah. No, you learned English.
Yeah. All I did was put this useless information in my head that is now not letting other bits in.
Honestly, great party trick, though.
It is.
Not sure if it's the right type of party, but, for some parties, that's a pretty good party trick.
Have you got a party trick?
No.
You're not?
So here's the thing, right? There's a joke about people who fly airplanes.
Oh, yeah, your party trick is flying airplanes, but you can't really do that in a room, can you?
No, you can just talk about it.
Yeah. People are like, we know you fly planes. Yeah, well done.
In general, I think my party trick is to not talk about me as much as possible, because that feels a lot like work.
I should have that one. Yeah.
I
have a party trick. Do you know what I can do?
What?
I can juggle.
You can juggle?
I can juggle.
You can juggle well?
Do you know why I can juggle? God, you're going to love this story. This is a true story. My first girlfriend when I was 15 was a clown. So she taught me how to juggle. And when I say that, I mean like straight up, like I would go and pick her up from parties where she was
a clown,
being paid to be a clown.
That's awesome.
With all of the face paint and everything, and she taught me how to juggle. She had in her room. This is again genuinely true. In her room, she had a barrel with a plank on it, and she used to stand on it and balance, and then she'd be juggling as well. But I could actually juggle quite well. I haven't done it in a while, but I bet it wouldn't be hard for me to pick it up. I can do normal juggling. I can do like over the top juggling. I could do like a thing where I'm like feeding the balls in. I could do it in one hand with two, and then be throwing a ball in.
Do this.
Okay. Well, next time I'm going to show you. I don't think I could do it here with the setup. I don't think I'd be able to. Maybe I would be able to, but yeah, I can juggle. That's my party trick. I only ever remember it. There's literally the one situation where I ever remember it is if I'm at someone's house and they have a fruit bowl.
You're like,
and I see if there's one orange in there.
Yeah.
Two oranges, I think. And 3 oranges, I'm good to go.
You're in. Yeah.
And that's what I always do.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. I think that's one of the cool things about life, though. You pick weird stuff up along the way. Like, I don't drink coffee, but I can make really good coffee. I just don't drink coffee. I've never drank coffee. I think it tastes awful.
What kind of machine have you got?
My God. No,
I don't know enough about it.
There's so many ways of making coffee.
Do the condensed version of you're up in the morning, you're making your coffee.
I'm not making a coffee.
Oh, you're not making a coffee?
No, I don't like coffee. I really think
what?
the only time I've ever drank coffee. This is a story. The only thing I've ever drank coffee was when I was doing work supporting the local development community in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And there was a prince who is a fan of my work and decided
a prince. The prince of Saudi Arabia?
One of the many, many princes of Saudi Arabia. Who then invited me in a sort of like non-optional kind of way.
Okay. Yeah.
To come have dinner.
Okay.
And they served coffee, Saudi coffee, in a tiny little. And anybody who's ever had Arab coffee knows that if you don't drink coffee and somebody gives you Arab coffee, that's trouble, because that's very strong coffee.
Yeah.
But Saudi Prince coffee is the summit of Arab coffee.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here with a tiny glass, not knowing how to say no.
You can't say no. You ain't saying no in that.
Oh, buddy, no, thanks, mate. No, I'm good.
Cheers,
so
Prince.
I'm sitting there. I'm just like, let's. What's the worst that could happen, right? Well, the worst that could happen is I had jitters for like 2.5 days.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I was not okay.
I bet you did. But hang on a minute. No, hang on. We need to rewind a little bit, because I think I've completely misunderstood a part of the story. Or maybe I haven't, and you're just crazy. You're saying that you are amazing at making coffee, but you hate coffee.
I don't drink coffee. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I picked up that skill kind of the same reason you did.
So you know that because other people are telling you, man, what a great coffee you've just made.
I learned to make coffee because at some point I dated somebody.
Okay, it's that kind of situation. Right. Yeah. Just like with my clown.
She taught me how to make her good coffee so that I wouldn't make her awful coffee.
Right, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And she was, for a lot of her life, a barista. So
that's good. That reminds me of, did you see that amazing thing going around this week about the guy who is the update on Steam? He like put an update on his Steam page saying, guys, I'm deleting my game because it's got AI in it and I'm very against AI. Yeah. And wrote this whole thing, and right at the end goes, also my girlfriend told me to. So good.
I love it.
Unbelievable.
They do say that to love or to be loved is the safe part of the world. Yeah. I guess she did take that. She did take that literally.
Hey, I've got a Prince story. You reminded me of a Prince story.
I bet you've
got some Prince stories.
I'd love to hear your Prince.
I don't have that many Prince stories.
Right.
I got invited to Jordan once.
Ooh,
a long time ago, to go to a conference there and talk to developers, local Jordan developers. Lovely trip. Went to Petra and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But part of the trip was meeting like the Prince of Jordan. He was coming along, and we were going to do like a round table where we talked to the Prince of Jordan about games in Jordan. So the day came, and we were all prepped for it, everything. We were told exactly what's going to happen. And then we were told we're going to do a dress rehearsal now. We're going to do a rehearsal of what's going to happen when he turns up. So we were told you're all going to stand in a line. He's going to come down the row. He's going to shake your hands and stuff. And then we're going to go into this room. You're all going to sit around this table. And then the outside table, there was an inner circle and an outer circle. And we were sat on the inner table. And then the outer table kind of had a lot of devs from Jordan there. And we did this thing, and they were asking us a bunch of questions. And I remember it was going on a long time. And one of the people who was there, who you may know, Dan DeRocha, he was there. And the two of us, we were chatting a little bit. We were being a little animated.
You were British people in a foreign country.
Yes, exactly. That's the perfect description of it.
Yeah.
And so we did the dress rehearsal and stuff, and then the Prince came in, and we shook his hand, and then as we were going up to the room, as we were coming to the room, one of the people running it was like, "You two, over here, please." And they put us right at the back. And they wouldn't let us be in. And we had to sit there then for half an hour while all the people we'd come with were all in the censor, like being asked questions by the Prince and stuff, and we just weren't there anymore. That was that.
Yep, that sounds about right. Never invited again.
No.
I mean, was there a fruit bowl though?
Oh, there was plenty of fruit bowls. Yes, there was plenty of fruit bowls.
Did you juggle for the Prince?
No, I didn't juggle for the Prince. No, he wasn't interested. He wouldn't have seen me in the corner anyway.
Right. Did they also face you towards the corner?
So it was like a real moment of like being back at school. Like I've been relegated. I'm one of the naughty boys.
Yeah,
I've been relegated to the back. Yeah. Good trip though. Petra. I don't know if you've been to Petra. It was unbelievable. I rode on a camel.
They're bigger than you think, right?
Yeah.
Camels are huge.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah. They're like, them and, any animal that's like horses. I don't know how often you've been near a horse. Their heads look like they could kill you. Just their heads. Just the bit of the horse that is just their head. Mm-hmm. If they just turned fast enough into me, I'd be knocked out.
Well, you're made of dust, so
I am made of dust. Yeah, that doesn't help. But yeah, Petra was really good. We reenacted we sort of got someone to play the Indiana Jones music, and we we walked.
Are you wondering how you ended up in the back of the room? You went to Petra and you played the Indiana Jones.
Listen, just because I know how to life.
I have a lot of Prince stories, but I'm going to go in another direction for this one.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I do have something I want to talk about, but before
we're actually going to talk about something proper.
Before we get there, I want to tell a story about Dan DeRoca.
Okay, all right, yeah. Hello, Dan, if you're listening.
If you're listening, hi, hello. Dan and I have a reboot story, reboot event in Croatia that happens pretty much every year, and reboot is a little special. It's a little different. It is a conference, but it's also kind of an excuse.
Oh, 100%. Every single time I see people taking photos at Reboot every year, and I'm like, no one's doing any fucking work there.
No.
That is a holiday.
Yeah, it is a focused holiday with all your industry people in one place. So instead of actually doing work, you go to lunch, right? Yeah. And then work
it's networking
happens.
Yeah, it's networking, but in the sun.
Yeah, in the sun at the end of the dreary winter period.
Yeah, in a gorgeous place.
In Croatia, in the Sheraton.
Like, I've seen photos of like beach. You doing paddles there and stuff before, and there's just the waves behind you.
Yeah. That's exactly it. There's like a drone photo I took one year of the resort, and there's just a rainbow over it, and it's in this beautiful bay. Anyway, I have a rule that at events I really like, I kind of have a conference rule that I tend to try and make like at least 1 or 2 friends at every conference, right? Just meet people, because otherwise you get too stuck in just meeting up with the people you already know.
Yeah.
So I try to make 1 or 2 friends every event, and then if I really like an event, what I try and do is
3 or 4 friends.
I host a dinner.
Oh, you host a dinner. I've been to one of your dinners.
Yeah. If I host a dinner, the rules generally kind of the same. I try to bring half the table veteran folks, senior folks, people that I know, people that I trust, and I try to bring about half the table new developers or people I've met at the conference, or just to sort of like get people introduced to each other. And I take care of the bill. Mm-hmm. And then that's it, right? And I just call it a Rami dinner, and people call it a Rami dinner, and it's a Rami dinner. And so at Croatia, I decided one year, like, this is I'm going to do a Rami dinner.
This event is worthy.
Yeah, it has. I'm meeting enough interesting people. The vibe is good. I'm going to do a dinner.
Cool.
You know, that really increases my budget for the conference, right?
Yeah.
So it's not cheap throwing a dinner. So I'm like, okay, let's keep it small. We'll start with like 8 people. You know, 4-4 or 6-2 or whatever it is, and Dan is one of them. And for some reason, Reboot has a soccer tournament and shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
And so Dan, for some reason, and I don't remember the specifics of this, ended up in or near a banana suit. Okay,
I did not know that was the way that this story was going. Okay,
this was important. This is going to be important.
Okay,
so we get to the restaurant, we order dinner, and at the end of the dinner, dessert is coming. In everybody's mind, Dan is attached to banana mentally for now. And so we decide that he has to have a banana split.
A banana split,
He has to have the banana split.
Of course, yeah.
And so as we're ordering that, I decide to just be a little cheeky, and I go like, hey, listen, he wants a banana split, but it's his birthday. Could you make it a double? And they're like, absolutely, sir. So to bring Dan this massive banana split, double bananas, everything.
Yeah.
And Dan, being the absolute man that he is, eats the whole thing.
Eats the whole thing, of course. Yeah.
So next year, we go to the restaurant.
Oh, no.
And dessert comes up. And I look at the waiter, I'm like, hey, listen, it's his birthday. Could we do like a quadruple banana split? And they're like,
quad bananas, yeah.
You'll have to pay for 4, but I'm like, that's totally fine. So they bring out a quadruple banana split, and Dan gets through most of it.
Okay, defeated him. The quad bananas defeated him.
The next year, I go for an octuple banana split. And at this point, I'm actually increasing the dinner size so that we can eat the banana split together. We're not doing dessert anymore. We're just putting this giant plate of bananas in front of Dan. At some point, this became understood well enough in the restaurant Because I would have to call up front. They didn't have enough bananas otherwise. So I would call. I would call up front, and I would go, "Hey, I'm gonna be visiting the restaurant soon. I'm gonna have a dinner of like a table of 16.
And this is a weird thing for me to call up in advance about.
Right? Could you do a 16x banana split?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we've." So the last year we did this, it was 32x.
Yeah.
It was 32x. And when I called them, they were like, "We've been thinking about this all year." Right? And so we have a plan. And so what they said is, we don't actually have a plate that's large enough to hold the 32. So what we're thinking is we're going to go vertical. And they put like fireware sparklers and like everything. They sang happy birthday for Dan. And so I have this phenomenal photo of this Dan looking very intimidated with 32 bananas and equivalent amount of ice cream to build a banana pyramid.
Now, a question about this, because I've got many questions about this, but isn't it the case that isn't there a limit to the number of bananas you can eat before the levels of potassium kill you? Isn't it like 8 bananas, and if you eat that many all in one go, you'll die? Because I'm bringing this up just for the future,
for Dan's safety.
Just for Dan's safety. Yeah. I don't want this hilarious ongoing prank. I don't want it to turn into tragedy.
Right, right.
I can imagine the headline on GI.biz already.
Arab kills British man.
Yeah. That's the exact headline. Yeah. And then people are clicking on it like, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" And then there's just a picture of a plate of bananas. They're like, "Did he hit him over the head with the bananas?"
Kind of, I guess. This is my favorite Dan the Roca bit, is every time we go to that restaurant, we're just like, "Hey." Then obviously sort of like the COVID stop happened. I think the restaurant got sold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, so it can't happen anymore?
I mean, we can try the new owners, see what they do. It'll take a little bit to explain.
That's what a bump in the road.
Yeah, it's rough. Oh, no. But it was a good time. I want to talk about another thing I saw on the socials.
Oh, you want to talk about? Is this a real thing now instead of the like 30 minutes of waffling we've just done?
Yeah.
A real topic.
I think our listeners deserve a little bit of substance.
I think that like substance-wise, we should aim for like 3/4 this garbage and 1/4. Each of us says one useful thing each time.
Right.
Because I think any more than that, people don't want to be lectured at, do they?
No.
They don't want us to come on and be like, "Here's how you're going to sell your video games." They want us. They want to hear our absolute garbage. I'm sure they want to hear our garbage. And then every now and again, they're like, "Oh, hang on," and they get their little notepads out. They start, "Oh my God, quickly write down the things that they're saying."
You've thought about this way more than I have.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Do you not in a monologue everything that ever happens in your life?
In the one language I know, no.
Why would you bring that up?
I do. I have conversations with myself in multiple languages. That's
you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Anyway, we're getting off. Please, you have the floor. Please bring your topic.
I have the floor. Oh,
you
incredible.
Have the floor.
Well, there was a discussion.
Yeah,
that happened because somebody said a thing that everybody in the industry seems to know, but nobody seems to say, which is about pricing. I don't know if you saw the whole thing.
I did see it. It's a topic for the ages, isn't it? Pricing.
Yeah. Developers of Peak, in a conversation with Stephen Tortillo.
I think it was, yes. Said a very, very rambly bunch of sentences.
Just a beautiful ramble of...
like a labyrinth of sentences.
Genuinely, it goes, in a player's mind, what does it mean to spend $5?
Yeah.
Well, that's $5. But $6, well, that's still $5. $4 is also kind of $5. $3 is $2. And $2 is basically free. So we've got these tiers, $12, that's $10. But $13 is $15. And we found that $8 is still $5. It doesn't become $10. $7.99, that's $5, right? So $8 going to $5 is the biggest differential that we could find in pricing. Mm-hmm. So we found it very optimal.
Perfect. And you're right. Yes, and of course the situation is that it's correct and also is hilarious. Pricing for me is this ongoing battle.
Yeah.
After all of these years, it's never just stuck and just been correct, you know? And sometimes you're meant to be pricing your games higher. You're meant to be like, sometimes it's right to be. There's loads of articles online from years ago, literally interviews with me being like, devs need to be pricing their games higher. What are you doing? Why are you putting $12, $15 on this game? This is clearly a $20 game. Don't be an idiot. You're losing money. And now, if you ask me that question, how much should your game cost? The truthful answer is that right now in this moment, I don't fucking know. I actually, and I run a whole publisher, and I don't even know what sometimes I see people pricing a game very low, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are they doing? And then they sell shitloads of copies, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Maybe it was the price.
Yeah, maybe that was right. And then, so like, let's take Peak, because obviously that's what the quote is from.
Yeah.
Peak is a tricky one that I do not think that the average person making a game should actually try to take too many lessons from.
No, absolutely. Yes.
And I think that's one of the biggest things to say here is that Peak is this weird fucking, it's one of these, I was going to use the word friend slob. I don't want to use the word friend slob. I kind of hate that word.
Yeah.
It's shit. Because it's a fucking great game.
It's a party game.
It's a party game. It's multiplayer. So on average, it's very likely that the devs are selling at least 2 copies each time they sell a copy.
But also the development conditions of this game.
Yes, exactly. Right? Yes.
Like, if you take Agrocrab, fairly well beloved, right?
Yeah.
And you combine that with the powers of Landfall.
It's crazy, isn't it? I've seen people claiming like, oh, Peak came out of nowhere and it's just made by some small devs. And I'm like, no. There's these 2 huge studios who are like, who have unbelievable back catalogs behind them and stuff.
Right. You know, to position them, like Landfall is obviously enormous.
Yeah.
And Agrocrab is beloved, but much smaller, right?
Landfall have been around long enough that I've worked with them. I worked with Landfall when I was at Tiny Build on Cluster Truck.
Right.
Yeah. So I've literally worked with them like 10 years ago.
Right.
So they didn't come out of nowhere to make Peak.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think is that this is technically just a game prototype gone polished, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of the weird thing, like the right way to make games is always shifting, right? But the way to price games is always shifting. And I thought it was interesting to have this discussion, really, that I feel like I had when I was pricing my first game.
Of course.
You know, like some developers back then, when I was pricing my first Lambert game, were like, oh, no, but whatever you price it, you know, like $7.99 is kind of like a mental barrier. If you go over that, it's a $10 game. If you stay under that, it's a $5 game. And I'm like, why would that? So I actually did look into this back in the days. And apparently it is a modification of our psyche that happened when we started shifting to digital currency. Before that, it was just dependent on what kind of bill would be the primary bill that you pay something with. So you're paying for an $18 guilder, euro, whatever thing, and there's a 20 bill in that denomination,
right?
Then you would pay that with a 20 and you would get a 2. While a $16 thing, you might pay with a 10, a 5, and a 1.
Yeah.
Right. So it feels closer to 15. So it started from bills, apparently.
Right.
And then when we moved to digital, it kind of attached more to digital landmarks. So how much is a Spotify subscription or your Netflix or something like that? And so those are kind of our tiers now. So you get like $7.99, you get like $12.99, and then weirdly enough, $18.99. Like $17.99, you would expect it to be $17.99, but apparently it's at $18.99. $17.99 feels like a $5 game, and $19.99 is a $20 game, but $18.99 still kind of feels like a $15 game. It's just these discussions have been happening forever, and it was so weird.
But the other part of this discussion as well, which wasn't in that in the sprawl of words from the Peak Dev, was then you have to then start factoring discount stuff in as well.
Yeah.
It used to just be like, oh, do a 10% discount.
Yeah,
do a 20% discount or whatever. But now you're like, oh, but if I do a 22% discount here, then this price, it's going to take it below $9.99.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've had conversations. Apparently, this is huge thing in China. That like Chinese players will, if they see the price go beneath a specific threshold, then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm into that now."
I'll buy it.
So we've a lot of the time we've fiddled our Chinese price for our launch so that it's not even in line like with what Steam suggests and stuff, and is actually lower. And then when we're doing our discount, it's going past this threshold, which I've been told is the threshold you want to aim for. And then we've seen stronger Chinese sales. And again, that's another whole other part of the conversation is, sure, we can talk about the dollar price, but what's the pound? What's the euro? Realistically, those are like the three that make up a huge number of your sales.
Yes.
But then there's others to worry about. Like I say, the Chinese price. The sort of South American prices are sort of on the up at the moment, so you've got to be worrying about that. And like the Brazilian price always gets set too high on Steam, and people are begging you to bring it down.
Always have to manually adjust it.
Lots of manually adjusting now.
But it's funny, right? Because like, I don't know about you, but when I started pricing my first games, it really just was, and that feels right.
Yeah.
You know? And now we have so many layers of, I call it, I'm going to call it algorithmic pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But we're playing a game.
Yeah.
We're looking at the price.
Yeah.
And we're going, you know what? $6.99 would be good for this game. $7.99, that's good value for the investment for the time. Players are gonna be able to buy this, play this, enjoy this, and not feel like they got ripped off, right?
Yeah.
But then 30% of that is going to your platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing you have to calculate in.
Yep.
So maybe it's $7.99. We wanted to sell it for $6.99. That would be fair value, but $7.99 because 30%. So then we're at least getting $5.99, right? Like, but then we have to assume we're doing a launch discount, right? Because not doing a launch discount right now is madness.
It's madness,
degree.
Yeah.
So we have to factor in a launch discount,
mm-hmm.
and the launch discount needs to be significant enough that people think of it as a discount.
Because no one cares about 10% off anymore.
Yeah, it needs to be a 20, a 40, a 50% kind of off situation. So I guess we're pricing it at $12.99 so that we can discount it back to the price we actually want. And that's before regional pricing, which is also. And I'm just sitting here being like, if all these pressures weren't there, I'd probably just price it at $6.99.
I know, yeah. When you're like pricing for Europe, for example, and a lot of people will notice like that European prices seem quite high and seem unfair, and it's because of things like VAT, where it's all again, this is a fucking boring topic, but like they all get stacked on, and then we have to pay them. So actually, it looks like it's really expensive in Europe, but we ain't seeing that. What I always find is that if we have a $20 game, on average, the actual money into the bank per sale comes out about $8. $8 out of 20. That is insane. That it's so little. And every new dev we work with, we have to have this conversation. And when the money comes in, they still don't believe it. Right. They're still like, oh, but we sold so many units. One of the things I'm having to come to terms with a lot recently is that I have spent most of my time at No More Robots, like I said earlier, like telling people, no, you should go higher with your price, because then and there's lots of logistical reasons to do that. You've got more space to drop. You're not devaluing your game, etc., etc. All of those reasons I've given before. But now, one of the things that is coming up more and more and is becoming increasingly more obvious is that it is clear that the various algorithms on the various different platforms are now starting to like your game more if you've sold more units and you look more busy and you've got more players. And going higher with the price does not do that. If you go higher with the price, you get less players. You might actually, in the short term, make more money because you went higher with the price. But now, if we're talking the long term for your game, it's now getting to the point. And that's why last year we did a bunch of experimenting with the different games we put out, and at the end of the year, I've mentioned this before, but when we did Little Rocket Lab, I said to the dev, I think we've got to go with a big launch discount and just see what happens here. And I'm so fucking glad we did. We did the $20 for the game because it's like a 25-hour game. So fuck it, it's the correct price. But we did 25% off. And obviously it's impossible for me to be like, and therefore because of this exact thing, this is. But we had a very good launch, and actually we well outsold like the number of wish lists we had versus how many week one sales we should have got.
Yeah.
I can put it down to various things we did, but I feel quite confident in saying it was doing the 25% off discount that really helped.
Yeah.
So now we have this next game out. We've got this game Earth Must Die out soon. And literally right now we're putting the price into Steam. Like that's what I'm doing after recording this. I'm going to have the price conversation. And we are talking about going lower with the price with this one. The game is, it's like a classic animated adventure game. It's about 8 hours long. A few years ago, I would have been, no question, $20, 10% discount. That's just what we would have done, and it probably would have worked. We did that with plenty of. We've got games. Yes, Your Grace was like 4 hours long, and we did $20 on that one, and there was a tiny bit of murmuring, but not really. And now you can't do that anymore.
No.
Because
I mean,
the
algorithms, B, the economy, right? Like
people don't
it's
have
everything.
Money. Like, so it's absolutely everything. There's a whole bunch of reasons. Yeah,
that's the other thing I think that's hard to explain often. If you're not a dev, is like that launch moment defines whether we eat.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And it's not per se absolutely true anymore that's the only moment. Games still come back, but on average, having a good launch sets you up for a good tail.
Yeah.
And the tail is what that's dinner, right? The launch, that initial spike, unless it is peak money, is mortgage, dinner, lunch, and the additional money that has been invested. It's salaries, to start working on the next thing, and then hopefully the tail is high enough that we can sustain the game studio, right?
Yeah,
or in your case, the publisher, I guess. But it does really mean that if a game doesn't start well, it's trouble.
It's dead now, and it didn't used to be like that. It used to be, we had game launches where it was fine.
Yeah,
Descenders fine at launch.
Yeah, it started. It didn't peak.
No, it didn't at all. Hypnospace as well. Tiny launch, both of those games had tiny launches, and now they're both fucking huge. And there's various reasons that I could talk about probably another time about why that happened, but that I don't think can happen anymore. We're not set up anymore. The number of games coming out on Steam, the way you find games on Steam, the amount of money people have, I just don't think it can happen. It's like you say, the launch has now become so fucking important. That you better make sure you're, as horrible as it sounds, squeezing as many people into your launch as you can.
Right.
And trying to, those people who are like, oh, maybe I'll just wait for a couple of discounts.
Right.
You want to try and get them right now already at your launch.
Because before that was kind of the strategy, right? The strategy was, okay, you discount 10%.
Yes.
And then after a few months, you discount 20%. And then a few months later, you discount 40%. And then for Steam Sale or something, eventually you'd hit 75 or something, and they'll just do big one and just make very clear that that's a one-off.
Yeah, but now no one's buying games unless they're on a deep discount. That's it.
Not only that, even if you're doing a deep discount, you need to be deep enough that it's deeper than most of the other ones, because the algorithm seems to select for how deep your discount is. It's a literal race for the bottom in that regard.
And that's unfortunately what it is, isn't it?
Algorithmically built in race to the bottom, which is crazy. Yeah.
Who is that even to blame? Do you know what I mean? Because like you look at like something like Peak, where it's like unbelievably priced. Like it's priced at an amount where I would argue you don't even think about it when you're buying it.
Yeah.
So, and as well, when it launched, it was like 33% off. It was already cost nothing, and then it was 33% off. And I'm meant to then go up against that. Why on earth is anyone buying a new No More Robots game when they just saw a fucking Peak launch for no money with 33% off? They're not going to. Of course they're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make financial sense anymore.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, unless the people already like what Noble Robot stands for, because that becomes your whole game, right? Like, it's a reputation game at this point. Like,
I would argue on some level it can be bad for like new ideas as well,
right?
Because if I'm giving someone something like a sequel they already know or something like that, they're comfortable with that. They know what they're getting, and they're like, okay, I'll pay that for it. But if it's a new thing or a bit of an out there thing, and it's unproven, it's a lot to now ask someone to pay $18 at the launch or whatever. They want to first watch and see if people are going to pay that.
Social proof to some level. Like if Twitch streamers are playing it, if there's conversation about it, people might pick it up when it's at a discount. The thing that fascinated me about the discussion was sort of like people felt tricked by these thresholds to some degree. And it made me think, like, if only they knew how much bullshit is affecting the prices of games now, right? Like how many systems are pushing for games to be specific prices. And if you are financially comfortable, like a Landfall very much is, then you can stunt with these kinds of things, right? And then doing something like Peak, which was again quick development cycle, from what I understand, it was not massive budget for them, pricing it in very low, that's cool, but also really hard to compete with. It's sort of that discussion we were having, I don't remember about which game the other day, that was also coming in very low. Was it Silksong?
I mean, it was appropriately priced.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But games where you look at it and you're like, "Ooh, that's a spicy low price there."
But then there's the whole space in the opposite direction, isn't there?
Yeah.
Which, if anything, fascinates me more.
Yeah.
Last week, I finally gave in, and a few of us tried Arc Raiders. I don't know if you've played it, but it doesn't really matter about the game itself. I'm talking about the pricing more. So the game is like £30 in the UK. Right. I don't know what, maybe $40. I'm not certain how much it is. So you buy that, and it looks kind of AA. So, fair enough on the price. Yeah. And I promise you, within the first 15 minutes of the game, you're presented with a screen where there's a skin for £20.
Right.
Another skin for £15. Yeah. And all of this. And I was, to be honest, a little bit surprised by this. And I kind of looked around online, and I couldn't see that much of people getting annoyed about it. And it made me just feel like, how on earth are we having these difficult discussions about, God, I better drop the price of my fucking game below $10, otherwise people aren't buying it. And then a game that is not free to play is shoving £20 skins in my face.
Right.
And no one's batting an eyelid. This is a whole topic, so let's not go fully onto this. But part of the answer is, we taught kids that this is cool. Roblox taught kids, Fortnite taught kids, a bunch of other games have taught kids that actually this is how games are. Yeah. You pay some money, and then also, can we have more money?
But not just kids, we taught everyone. I remember 2013, sort of early free-to-play games. Everybody was against microtransactions.
Yeah.
But everybody bought them.
Yeah.
So,
And now this is it. You can just stick 20 quid on a skin in a paid game, and not many eyelids are batted.
No, but again, I think Ark could reasonably have been priced higher, right? They would have sold less, which would kill a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just offsetting for the 20 that they would have liked to have.
It just diminishes all of our conversation, doesn't it? About how much am I going to set Earth Must Die as the price? Oh, I want to do $20, but God, maybe I need to do 15, 16, 17. And
it's that thing, right? We're selling digital goods, so the only thing that sets the price is context. We're pricing in the context of the ecosystem. $20 for an indie game, there's a quality bar for pricing 20. For skins, the quality bar for 20 is fairly low.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the thing, it's just categories of objects, and people think of these skins as important to a game that they're playing a lot, and that's worth 20 quid. But an indie game, that's just a little game,
Yeah.
So, I think that the main thing for me was sort of a reason to want to talk about this is, obviously, you are looking at this from a different angle than I am, right? Because, yes, you're investing in games, and you're releasing games, and you get involved in games, but for me, it's quite literally I'm selling my baby to some degree, right? That's been 3 years of my life, or 2 years of my life sometimes.
Yeah.
Shorter nowadays. I don't want to do 3-year games at the moment. Actually, I just don't want to do 3-year games in general.
Yeah.
But, that was an idea I had one day where I said oh, wouldn't it be cool if... And then sat down behind my computer and wrote the first lines of code and went oh, it is cool if... And then went through that entire journey. And then at the end, I have to go so the value to your life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all very icky, isn't it?
It's just silly.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's awkward. It's unpleasant because there's science. You can run all the numbers.
Yeah.
On your competitors, but then frankly, 9 out of 10 times, whenever I price something, I say, oh yeah, 11. No, not 11. No, 8.
Yeah,
8. Yeah,
you're making me just dread this conversation that I have to have after this now.
That's amazing.
I don't want to. I love that. I want someone to tell me what the true answer is, and then I just go, cool, thanks, and then I just slam it into Steam.
Right. Well, whatever allows you to do a good discount at launch, I think is
yeah.
And a discount at launch that doesn't stop your team from eating.
I know.
Which is either
because then, of course, the launch discount ends, and then the sales go boom, and just because.
And then there will be a video within 20 minutes about how the player numbers have dropped precariously. For your little single player.
For that single player adventure game that's 8 hours long. Yeah. Dead game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's enough of that. Before we end, let's do some housekeeping. We got mentioned in Edge magazine. I
love that they went, child. Mike is Mike Rose, and Rami is Rami Ismail. I'm like,
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. What?
It would have been better if they'd just gone, Mike is Mike, Rami is Rami, and then that was the whole review.
But this is what we said in the first episode. Why we did Mike and Rami is because Rami, people know.
Yeah.
That has to be me. Mike, there's many Mics.
It could have been. Is there many Mics anymore?
There's plenty of Mics.
Name me 2 more Mics right now. Go. See?
Does Michael count?
Yeah, Michael counts.
Well, you have Bithel.
Right? Yeah, okay. Which is I was wondering if you were gonna. Yeah, okay.
Even the same accent.
Yeah, okay.
To some degree.
All right, Mike Bithel's one. Go on. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying. I'm trying to make sure that I know the last names properly.
If it was so easy, you would have just rolled them up.
I have 4 or 5 people, and I'm just trying to confirm in my mind.
You're trying not to upset one of them.
Whether I am correct in thinking of them as a Mike.
Yeah.
Because they might not be Mike.
Well, I'm obviously one of the order of Mikes, so I'll be able to tell you.
Futter.
Yeah, okay,
Rose,
that's Mike. Yeah.
Bithel.
Yeah, that's Mike.
What's the guy? What's his last name?
So his first name's Mike.
Well, that's the easy part. That's why. That's why this is complicated. It's because
the thing is, I don't think there are that many Mikes. And I think you're making it up. I appreciate that if someone had just said, "Oh, Mike and Rami have started a podcast," they might say, "Oh, Mike Bithel." I understand that.
I'm just going to give you the easy answer here.
Okay,
I typed Mike into my LinkedIn. Let's see how many Mics I have.
Yeah, but on LinkedIn, do you just accept everybody?
No. I anybody that I either have worked with or would like to work with.
Okay.
Or people that I've met at events. Sellers obviously exist. Fisher obviously exists. Wilson.
Okay.
From formerly Devolver.
That's a good one.
Kuzmin.
Okay.
Foster.
But I'm sorry, but this doesn't count.
Acton,
if I went and Googled a bunch of Ramis now, I'd find a list of Ramis.
Type Rami into your LinkedIn and tell me what you're getting. Tell me what you're getting.
You have to be able to rattle them off.
That's the thing. I just need to make sure that they're Mikes because for some they might be Johns. I'm like, oh yeah, Romero. Oh no, wait, no, that's a John.
Mike Romero.
Yeah. This is genuinely when I was growing up. Right. One of the things that made me believe I couldn't make video games is because everybody was Chris. I would play Roller Coaster Tycoon or whatever, and I would see the credits.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is Chris, John, Chris, Mike, John, Ed, John. I was like,
we had so many Dans at No More Robots that we started to letter them. We had for a while we had Dan B. And then and then I give them other names. So like the guy who made Spirity, I call him Spirity Dan. There's too many Dans that I have to attach things to them.
I was playing Destiny the other day with 2 Nicks that I both work closely with.
Yeah.
Throughout my life. In the games industry, and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, all right, hey, Nick, jump on the thing, and then both of them would jump. I'm like, no.
Yeah. But I don't think that anyone's calling themselves Mike anymore. There's no children Mike anymore. You don't get young Mikes.
No.
There's no young mics
Why would you
anymore.
do that? Yeah.
There's only old mics.
Right. Yeah.
No young mics.
Yeah, you faded. The name has faded.
They made it used to be in the UK. It was like when I was little. It was one of the biggest names ever. I had like 5 mics in my class. Now there's no. Imagine seeing a child and being like, "Oh, that's Mike."
I will say your last name feels a lot more rare.
Do you know? Not really. Actually, there's quite a lot of Roses.
All right, so both of your names are just very common.
Both of my names are unbelievably common.
So if I just type Mike Rose into Google, I got 1 million people.
Well, yeah, we've had this conversation. You Googled Mike Rose before, and I didn't appear until like the second fucking page.
Right. So this is why, Mike is Mike Rose makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But Rami is Rami Ismail.
Just so I understand, you wanted the Edge review of our podcast to say Mike is Mike Rose, Rami, full stop.
And Rami. Yeah. How many Ramis are there? You know how excited I was to meet a Rami in games? I had to go to the Middle East to find that Rami. There are more. I have found.
I was going to say, or did you not all of a sudden you're like, hi, Rami, hi, Rami, hi, Rami.
That would be nice. I've never had anybody play Destiny with me and go like, oh, what do I call you? Because there's so many Ramis here.
I'm Rami as well.
I remember the first time being at an event and having to go like, what is your last name? And I'm going like Ismail. And they're like, which one? I'm like, there's more?
Wow.
No way. That was great.
That's good.
But it was nice. It was very nice.
It was nice. Thank you for mentioning us, Edge. That was and we did, and I think we did get some listeners. Yeah, and actually, that's the one other thing I want to say before we finally wrap this up. I want to say, because we've not really said this yet, we would love to hear from anybody who is actually listening, because we've just been doing this. We're just talking to each other in our little what do you call them, man caves. Just like.
This is a real office. I don't have a man cave.
Oh, well, mine's a man cave. I can see the numbers, so I can see that some people are listening. But it would also just be nice to hear from anybody.
Right.
If anybody's actually listening to this, and we're not just talking to ourselves. What do you call a blue sky? Blue skyers.
Just message or post or
on post on the YouTube version. That would be nice. Just
anywhere,
just
really. Just anywhere. It might be social validation, y'all.
We might just be talking to nobody. It might be bots.
I'm talking to my good friend Mike.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
One of many.
All right. Yeah. And I'm Mike Rose, by the way, not Bithell.
Right, that's the point. Yeah, I'm talking to the British Mike.
The first time we did this podcast and we came on camera, I could see in your eyes, oh shit, I thought I was talking to Biffle. I did the wrong one.
Wrong Mike. No. But regardless of whether you send a message, thank you for listening, and we're just gonna be here.
We'll be here, and we are still here.
We're still.
Bye, everyone. Bye. You've been listening to Mike and Rami Are Still Here with me, Mike Rose, and Rami Ismail. Edited by Chris Lees. Theme tune by Jay Tholen. Key art by Stacey Sack.